Hi everybody, it's Dale, and today we're gonna be talking about something very, very serious. Does Genshin Impact break the Geneva Convention? Did D-Look commit war crime? Nah, I'm just playing with you. April Fools, everybody. We're gonna be talking about shonen anime. Fighting, battles, honor, victory. These are the hallmarks of human conflicts. Though, let's be real, not many of us are gonna get into fights anytime soon. Settle it in Smash or don't settle it at all. That's what I always say, at least. So, what's more fun than being in a fight is actually watching a fight. And when it comes to fictional fighting, well, shonen anime has got us covered. That's just something about spiky-haired anime boys duking it out, you know? Spouting their personal philosophy while onlookers explain their techniques. Just really gets us hyped up, you know? Let's do this! Though, that got us thinking, right? Which anime fighting style should we use in a realistic fight? If any of us were in a scrape, which anime character should we embody within us? How can martial arts even impact our lives if we're not even saving the world? Well, let's find out in this episode of IGN Decoded. Hua! Doria! Hacha! Pow! You like that one? Finding a whole bunch of anime fighting styles in the world of Shonen Jump, it's like finding hay in a haystack, you know? It's kind of a dime a dozen, but it's also the reason why we get so hooked onto these shows, you know what I'm saying? So to keep things simple, we're gonna go for the cream of the crop. All right, we're gonna go for the best of the best. So specifically is the members of Battle Stadium, DON, Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Naruto. While there are realistic shonen manga based on like boxing, wrestling, volleyball, you know, it wouldn't be fun if we're just looking at realistic shonen anime, you know? That's kind of, that beats the point and kind of gets rid of all the fun. Like, yeah, we get it. You can box, all right? You can be pretty and you can play volleyball, all right? We get it. That went a little personal there, I'm gonna lie. So let's start with the original Dragon Ball, where little Son Goku with his little monkey tail, right? He's doing simple combat moves. Yeah, let's put it that way. Like the classic scissors, paper, stone technique. I might have gotten that order wrong, but you get the gist. But then things get a little too complicated when you add things like shooting lasers out of your hands or flying or even like turning into a gorilla or Super Saiyan. I don't know. Point is, it starts to get really crazy, really fast. Yo! You know, from the Naruto games. Like, yeah. So, this superpowered complication also ties in with the world of Naruto, where there's chakra, ninjutsu, taijutsu, all that. The fact that most of us can't, you know, create shadow clones or shoot waves of sand is gonna be a little hard for us to replicate those moves in real life. Which leaves us with the reigning king of Shonen Jump, One Piece. There's no pose for One Piece, you know? Like Dragon Ball, you go like, Naruto, you go, you know? But One Piece doesn't really have a thing, you know? I guess you could just... Can you make my arm stretch? Now I know what you're thinking. One Piece isn't as grounded as the rest. In fact, it's pretty far-fetched as well, okay? You got people with sixth sense. They got haki. They can see things around them, turn their bodies into metal. There's devil fruit users with rubber bodies and mochi control, of all things. How is that grounded? Well, you got us there. So, to make things a little simpler for our search for the ultimate anime realistic fighting style, we are gonna be cutting off all devil fruit users. Okay, that means no Luffy, all right? No Chopper, no Robin, no Brook. I can't do Brook, he's a skeleton. But you know what I mean, all right? They're as useless to us right now as they are in bodies of water. So this leaves us with the non-devil fruit users of the world of One Piece, all right? And you'll be surprised by how many different cool fighting styles there are that non-devil fruit users can do. For example, there's Fishman Karate, which is, well, as the name implies, it's karate but underwater. It's for fish people, alright? It's like karate but with water bending, you know? It's pretty cool. Then there's the Rokushiki fighting style, which is used by the elite members of the Marines. The CP9, which you may remember from the Enies Lobby arc. This Kung Fu-like fighting style lets people use their fingers as like bullets or turn their bodies into metal or even like fly. They kind of kick into the air and they fly, you know, it's pretty cool. It's like real Kung Fu, but yeah, it's based on Kung Fu. But to fully figure out which martial arts should we do in real life, we didn't have to look so far. We looked at two of the strongest Straw Hat pirates in One Piece. Besides Luffy, that's their captain. Now we're gonna look at the other two strong guys, which are the first mate of the crew, Roronoa Zoro, and of course, the chef himself, Vinsmoke Sanji. Right off the bat, these two characters got their martial prowesses through extensive training. Alright, no superpowers here. We got Zoro, who uses a sword. And then we have Sanji, who fights with kicks based on capoeira and taekwondo. So, when it comes to Zoro, he takes pride in his Santoryu technique, which is where he uses a sword on each hand and the last one on his mouth.
Do you see any sort of practicality with that in like real fighting, you think?
Can I be brutally honest? Absolutely not. It's only because it's anime that you could possibly do that. I mean, I've seen, you know, movies with pirates who have, let me see, right? But, you know, with a Japanese sword, no. If anything, it's just going to keep him very quiet, and that's about it. The reason why Miyamoto Musashi developed his style of Nitoryu, he wrote a book. I just happen to have it, actually.
Oh, cool.
Book of Five Rings. In Japanese, it's called Gori no Sho. And this was a book that he wrote in 1645. He finished the manuscript about 1 week before he died. And it was kind of like a set of instructions to pass on to his students. And it says in the Book of Five Rings, the reason why he devised Nitoryu was because samurai traditionally carried two swords. Okay, that was kind of a symbol of their status, not one sword, but two swords. And he believed it is a terrible waste and not good form if you have two swords, but you don't know how to use them. What's the point in having two swords if you don't know how to use them? The other thing is when you're using a sword, you could be on a horse, okay? So you have to be able to know how to use both hands as well, depending on the situation. Okay, you've got to be basically ambidextrous, right? You've got to be able to use both sides. So you can use a sword, you might be carrying a spear at the same time. So he developed his Nito as a way of training the body, okay, physically develop the strength, but also so that you can get used to using weapons with both hands. It doesn't matter what kind of weapon it is, but just so that when you're in the thick of battle, you're going to need everything that you've got to survive, to prevail, to win. So he really developed it as a kind of a practical training method in many ways. Like, of course, it had practical application as well, and as you can see, when people fight with two swords in kendo today. But this is using all of your faculties, and as far as I know, most people have two hands rather than three.
Okay, so this next part, I have to put this in my mouth and hold the other two. Hi, how are you? Hi. While the world is lacking in swordsmen these days, chefs are all the rage. Which is why Sanji's black leg fighting style is perfect for chefs, as he keeps his hands in his pocket, let the legs do all the work so that the hands can keep on cooking later on. Which reminds me... Whew. Now we're talking. It's Sanji time. Sanji typically shouts the part of his opponent's body that is about to hit, and most of his attacks are kind of named after food. For example, he will kick the opponent's neck, like pow! Not really a neck shot, but you know, pretend that I hit like a really short person, I guess. But you know, pow, like that. So he'll say the French word for neck or for body or whatever, you know. That's just his deal, you know. His signature move is of course Mouton shot. Wait, it's kind of like a downward kick. Pow! Right down.
How would one kind of train their legs to be that powerful, you think?
There's no secret way. We just train. We do a lot of exercise. We do a lot of squats. We kick many times. We repeat. So, well, it's sort of direct. We train freaking lot. That's all.
Right, because he's even able to kind of like do flying jump kicks and spinning kicks in the air. Is that possible,
Yes.
do you think?
Yes, it's possible. Other than sparring and pomse, right, we have another event in Taekwondo. It's called demonstration. So the demonstration team, right, they practice a lot of eye-appealing kicking techniques, which one example is they will jump up in the air, they will kick at least 4 to 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then another example is one of the most, I would say, the high-level technique for Taekwondo. It's like 720 or 900. 900 as in 900-degree spin. So if we spin 1 round, that's 360. 2 rounds, that's 720. So today we actually achieved 900 to 1080, which is 2.5 to 3 rounds. They spin, and at the end of the spin, they will unleash one, either a reverse hook kick or a roundhouse kick. But saying all this, actually is not so practical when it comes to actual sparring or combat. Spinning 2 to 3 times is only based on your athleticism or your skills. But when it comes to actual combat, we want to be as direct, as short, as powerful as possible, and that's it. We want to end it right there when it comes to actual combat.
Point is, he's the kick guy. He's pretty awesome, all right? He wears a sick suit, you know? Nami Swan! Yep, you'll get it if you read or watch One Piece. Yeah. Cut that part. Okay, next one. Mouton shot! I know what you're thinking. What about haki? Both Zoro and Sanji possess 2 kinds of haki. They have observational haki, where they can kind of sense the aura of the people around them and stuff like that. And there's also armament haki, where they can turn either parts of their bodies or even a sword into super hardened steel. It's really cool, right? Is that possible in real life?
So 2 sides of haki is that you can sense your opponent's movements, and the other side is you kind of channel your energy into your sword. Would you say that's kind of what you guys do?
Absolutely, 100%. When I fight somebody, I'm 51 now. In Kendo, I'm still very young. Okay, and when I fight, you know, some of my sensei are 70, 80, 90 years old. When I'm standing in front of them, even though physically I'm stronger and faster, for whatever reason, I step back. I keep moving back because I feel the pressure that I'm being sucked into a vortex. I'm being sucked into my sensei's vortex. He wants me to come forward so he can hit me. He can counterattack or take advantage of all of my openings, and you feel kind of scared. It's like you don't know why you're feeling scared, but you are not in control of yourself. It's kind of like, you know that if I attack now, he's going to counterattack me, or he's going to get me before I move. But if I don't do anything, he's going to hit me as well. And you just naturally start moving backwards, retreating, and you can't stop it because you're just scared. That is haki. That is the power of the ki of the sensei that you're fighting. You're not going to feel that when you're fighting, kids and stuff like that. That just comes from years and years and years. And the tip of the shinai, when you're looking at it front on like that, so if you hold your shinai up and you hold it in front of you, like that, it just looks like a very small circle, right? But when you're fighting somebody who has this haki coming out, the small circle just becomes really big. It's almost impossible to explain rationally. And that's what has kept me doing kendo for so many years, because I experience this all the time. Not that I can do it, but I experience it and I know there's something there. So I guess that's what you mean by haki. There's this kind of this energy that just basically it controls you, overwhelms you, sucks you in, does all sorts of things. It screws with you, basically.
So, ultimately, if we're not using these 6 skills to fight evil pirates or sea monsters, what's it all for? Why should we learn martial arts in this day and age?
Yeah, well, literally, the way of the sword. Okay, do means way, and that implies more than just a sport. It's a way of life. It's something that you continue, throughout your life, and it's a way of educating yourself. It's a way of self-realization, and a way to self-perfection, if there is such a thing. So it's more than just a sport. It's definitely a very deep and profound philosophy that underpins it.
So after 23 to 24 years of practicing Taekwondo, I realized it's not so much of being cool, wow, you can fight, or that ego. No, it's not so much on all those. For me, Taekwondo is more on a lot of discipline, self-control, indomitable spirit, and Taekwondo itself, it teaches you a lot of values outside from just kicking and punching. The journey I've been through is a lot about how much things you learn and how can I contribute to others. And it's always about that. I believe that anyone who practices Taekwondo, right, will find a certain qualities and value as they practice Taekwondo. Outside of just the usual, I want to improve my fitness, I want to become strong. Outside of those that we all know that's the standard answer. But going beyond that are those qualities.
Well, there you have it. I might not be able to kick things with reckless abandon or slice things up with a sword in my mouth. But at least I know the value of martial arts. Yeah. Alright, who knows? Who knows? Maybe taking one up would be a nice change of pace from all the usual video games, manga, anime, and whatever else we consume, right? Thanks again to all of our wonderful panelists for this episode. Sound off in the comments if you have any ideas of what other fictional martial arts that you want to see us cover next. This is Dale signing off, and I'll see you next time on another exciting adventure on IGN Decoded. Pow! Is that good?